Hello everyone, Under here. It is patch day for the Better Balance game, so we're going to be talking about each of the changes that this new patch adds. It's patch 3.14.2. It was released on the 15th, it's now the 17th. I haven't played yet since the patch. But yeah, we're just going to be going through the changes individually, talking about each one. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, first things first, as usual, guys, make sure you give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Come over on Twitch, give us a follow. I'll be streaming tonight at 11 p.m. GMT, the day this video goes up, so hope to see you there. And let's get into it. So the first thing we've got here, the first change, is we've got 2 governor titles for Audience Chamber again. This was previously 1. I believe the main reason behind this is because of the current state of Liang and everyone picking it. It's a very strong governor. You need about 5 or 6 resources in your city to make this a very good pick. Any more than that is just an added bonus. The promotions that make this governor so good are the 1 food and the 1 production on the city's revealed resources. You don't need to improve them, and this is for luxury resources, strategic resources, and bonus resources. So it is very strong. The reason you don't really pick Audience Chamber when you go Liang is because for Audience Chamber's benefit to sort of work, you obviously need a governor in most of your cities because it gives you food and housing. But because you invest in so many promotions into this, you know you're only going to have Liang for a good portion of the game, really. So hopefully with the Audience Chamber getting another governor title, we're going to see more governors being used than Liang at the moment, which I'm happy about. Okay, next we've got Fez's bonus is reduced from 20 to 10. What it's talking about here is the suzerain bonus of Fez, which gives you what was 20 but now 10 science per population when you convert a city to your religion using a religious unit. So passive spread doesn't count, you have to use a missionary or an apostle. Wasn't really expecting this change. I think city-state Suzes are very situational. They don't really need a nerf. It's kind of like nerf at a wonder. Really, you mean what are the odds of you having a religious civ and getting Suze Faz? You know, other players can kill it, other players can Suze it, take it as their own, etc. Same with this Nihangs with it. It's Firaxis. The BBG did nerf it and now it's moved it back again. So hopefully Nihangs are going to see more play. Haven't seen many of them myself. Can't even tell you what they do, to be honest. So let's have a quick ganders of what they do. Do. Nihangs. They're the Lahore unit, aren't they? Lahore city-state unit with a unique promotion tree purchasable with faith. Combat strength is increased when barracks, army, and military academy buildings are first constructed. This is actually probably going to be a good change because buildings are getting quite a few buffs as of recent. Military academies recently got buffed to give more production and resources. So yeah, hopefully we're going to see some Nihangs. Going to probably give them a go myself. Okay, I'm just going to quickly skip over the River Goddess change because I'm waiting for an answer on that. Next, we've got Great Barrier Reef gives +2 adjacency for campuses. Now, a lot of the wonders that provide static yields like this, like 3 food, 2 science, and culture or faith, are, I think, very strong in the early game. Turns like 1 to 20, maybe turns 1 to 30. But they're kind of useless afterwards, and that's because you can't improve them in any way. You know, you can't improve them with districts or buildings. So this is a sort of wonder that I'd rush to settle early, but I really wouldn't bother later on in the game unless if it was era score. In terms of the provides major adjacency for campus districts now, I guess it's nice. It's makes it a bit more worthwhile to settle later on in the game because you're gonna get +2. I'm not sure if this is gonna stack, like, you know, if you've got sort of a coastal tile with 2 other natural wonder tiles next to it, because it is a 2 tower wonder. whether that's going to be a +4 straight off the bat, which is going to be extremely powerful. So yeah, I don't think that's it's going to be an OP or a terrible change. I think it's just, you know, a nice sort of quality of life change. Okay, Spain's missions get +1 housing on home continent. I believe this is a change just to get, you know, just to counter a bit of the RNG. Obviously, if Spain, you always want multi-continents for the missions and the trade routes. This just makes it, you know, a bit more worthwhile to build missions on your own continent. Nice, nice little change there. Okay, one of the big ones here is Christina gets +1 to all yields in her capital city. Now, this doesn't look too strong when you first look at it, but it is extremely strong. Sweden hasn't been seeing much play recently, and doesn't do too well in games. I do think it's a, you know, it's a very good civ in the right hands. It's got huge mid game potential, but you know, you've got to get there. You got to avoid war and be able to get some key wonders with the district slots, and it does have a strong unique unit. And this change, you know, it's just to help Sweden get on her way really to the mid game without many problems. It is very strong though. This is, you know, one science, one culture, one gold, one faith. You're going to get a Pantheon quicker than most people unless they get faith out of a goody hurdle playing like Indonesia or something. So yeah, I think that is a powerful change that might get a slight nerf in the future or removed and replaced with something else. But yeah, Sweden does need a bit of early game help. Alright, now we've got Maya's combat bonuses within 6 tiles of the cap is reduced to 3 from 5. This is literally because of the Mayan archers, the unique archers that they get. This civ is unkillable early game in the hands of even an average skilled player, because of the bonuses that their archers get as well. I believe this change is made literally just for that reason, for the archers. Later on in the game, Maya has a very good mid game spike, and you know, having +5 to defend against anything is just an even better bonus on top of that. So this is just a little tone that down a little bit, whilst, you know, trying to keep to the core root of Maya's abilities. All right, Greece's Acropolis no longer gets +1 adjacency from the city centre. Don't think this change was needed. I don't think Greece is particularly in a position to be nerfed at the moment. Greece's culture does get bonkers, but that's not because of the adjacency for being next to the city centre. That's just because the districts are so cheap to build, the theatre squares. Aztec, sorry, next Aztec 50% towards melee units. This is massive. I think this civ's going to get a lot of play. Aztec is one of my favourite civs. Does it need a bit of help? Probably. It is kind of situational and dependent on multi-continent spawns. I also think a lot of people play Aztec wrong, going for early pushes, but that's not for this video. I think it's a good change. I do like it. You know, it gets rid of, it doesn't work more on the RNG of Aztec, and it kind of makes sense because their unique unit is an Eagle Warrior. I'm not sure if this counts for things like anti-cavs as well, because, like, you know, in theory an anti-cav is a melee unit, but for the sake of the game, it isn't, if that makes sense. Well, it is for some things and it isn't for others. So yeah, I think 50% might be a bit much, but we'll see. Okay, next is my favourite one. Brazil's spawn bias is set to tier 3 instead of tier 4, seen as it is essential. By Brazil's bias, they mean rainforest, so we're going to see more rainforest on Brazil, which is obviously good. You know, if you pick a civ with a spawn bias, you kind of want to, you know, see it. You don't want to spawn like off a river with a civ with a river bias, for example, Germany. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to see more rainforest on Brazil, which yeah is, as it says here, which is essential. For anyone wondering, tier 1 is, I believe, 100% chance to spawn on that bias. So if you've got like tier 1 coast, then you're always going to spawn on the coast, for example, or tier 1 desert, you're always going to spawn in the desert. The only things that I think have got tier 1 are Lisbon and Nan Madal to spawn on the coast. So tier 3 is still very good. Tier 2 is almost definitely you're going to get that, and tier 3 is, you've got a very good chance. So hope to see this change on more of the civs with spawn biases. Next we've got Ethiopia nerfs. Only the unique unit gets +4 hills on combat. Sorry, only the unique unit gets the +4 on hills combat bonus. Ethiopia's been getting banned a lot lately. I'm not sure really if it's because of that or because of the faith generation they have, or a mix of both, but I haven't really seen much play on it. Haven't had a chance to war with it either, so I can't really comment too much on that, but +4 is massive, especially for all units. So yeah, that's going to give, more incentive to go the unique unit as well, which is always good. I like seeing the unique units in play. Another Ethiopia change is the +1 faith for resources fixed. What was happening is that the faith generation was multiplying instead of adding. So that's just a fix for that. Court Festival culture and tourism has been increased to 30 from 25. This is Catherine the Magnificent, is it? Unique leaders, one of their unique bonuses, the Theatre Square project. I think it's just to give that leader a bit more play. Haven't seen it once actually. I don't think. I haven't seen France for a while actually. So yeah, that's just to give that a bit of play. Seaports give +1 coal. Again, this is just to make people build seaports more because they don't really get built, and also to combat RNG. If you haven't got coal, you've got something to fall back on. Seaports can be expensive, but you can make them cheaper with the veterancy red card. Next, we've got flood barriers are unlocked at steam power instead of computers. I like this change. I've been the victim of some horrible flooding on the coast, and I've actually beat someone to science victory because their spaceport got flooded, so that's just going to help with that. More RNG combat. Colombia's promotability now only works on light cav. What this is referring to is if you promote a unit, it doesn't end the turn. So this now can only be used on light cavalry units. I think Colombia needs more of a nerf than this, to be honest. I got pushed by Lineros recently, and it was horrible. I had pike and shot, could not defend, not even with the promotions. I mean, the pike and shots are a great unit to defend with against cavalry. The only problem that they do have is if they die quickly, they don't get their +5 promotion, which I do think they should start with actually. So I do think Colombia needs more of a nerf than this. Hopefully we'll see it. I don't know if I just played bad or what, but I got smashed in that game. If you want to see that game, it is on YouTube. It's the Japan game. I think it's uploaded. I'm not 100% sure actually. Alright, next we've got AA guns move to combustion. This has already been reverted, but we are going to just quickly touch on it anyway. Basically, planes were and now are again able to be built at steel. They got moved to combustion just so planes got more play, because as soon as you get tanks and a few AA guns, then planes are kind of useless unless you've got like a massive tech lead on your opponent and you completely outnumber them with a lot of planes, but they're just so expensive to build. So AA guns were moved slightly later on in the tech tree, just so they hopefully the planes got more play. But it got changed back within hours because Jack the Ripper, one of the better players in CPR, went into a game, rushed planes, and made the lobby CC based on how many aluminium mines everyone else had, or his number one person fighting against him had. So yeah, that got quickly changed back. And now, probably one of the bigger changes of the patch, along with the Sweden one, is Sumerian war carts are now unlocked at Horsemen and have been buffed. They're now at 36 combat, they got 4 base movement, +1 if they start on flat terrain. They cost 5 horses, they cost 40 production, they have 2 maintenance of gold per turn. Has a chance to capture city-state units, replaces the heavy chariot, and no penalty against anti-cav, and ignores zone of control. I need to play Sumeria, I think, to have an opinion on this. But about 36 combat, I think that's the same as a horse, isn't it? These are basically horsemen with a different promotion tree and a chance to capture city-state units. This is probably going to be slightly situational on the relation of where your city-states are compared to your opponent. It's going to be like Hungary or Aztec. But first thing that I'm seeing on this change is possible night push. So build some of these, kill a city-state with it. Get an extra bit of army in your empire, tech for knights, and then you're gonna have like level 2, maybe level 3 promoted knights ready to rock and roll. Maybe with the general as well, which can be quite strong. Don't see too many night pushes at the moment because they did get nerfed to the point where you need apprenticeship to tech them now. So yeah. Oh yeah. So River Goddess, I misread that. Basically, what that is now is it gives +2 holy site adjacency, and it gives 1 housing amenity instead of 2 housing and amenity now. And another change that caught me by surprise, to be honest. I don't think River Goddess is too OP. It can be really good on a civ like Khmer, but I suppose that is quite strong because you're going to be building your holy sites on all your rivers anyway. It just makes the holy sites a little bit better now, and it gives you an option if you're a faith civ and you don't have like Sacred Path or Dance of the Aurora, etc. So that's quite nice. Anyway, that is all the changes in this patch. Still working on the tier list. It's taken a while, and for any of you guys that don't play multiplayer or you don't play with the Better Balanced Game mod, what I'm doing in the tier list, I've got like a before and after for each civ that I talk about. It's going to be a civilization tier list. So if you're curious about all the BBG changes, they are going to be, well, the civ ones are going to be in that video. After that, we're working on the early game guide again. After that, we're probably going to do a massive video on the whole of the BBG changes up until now. And yeah, that's what we've got planned. So I'm hopefully see you in the future videos. Hopefully see you on Twitch. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.